Facebook, Post family, to another episode of Post Daily Dose with me, your trusted parenting advisor, faithful guide and servant on the healing journey. What's my name? Big Papa Bryan+Post. In tonight's episode, we're going to talk about the secret parenting model nobody knows. So I hope you're ready for this. I actually want you to take some notes. So go ahead. I'm going to pause for just a moment and allow you to go and I want you to get a notepad or a piece of paper, and I want you to get a pencil and an ink pen, because we're going to do a little graph, because I want you to see this, because I've for those of you who follow me for a while, you get it, you know it. But I've just been getting some questions recently, and I know last night on the Daily Dose, we kind of went back to Parenting 101 and chimed in there and kind of looked at things a little bit. But I'm going to take you back, not to the beginning, but to where things really started to change for me as a clinician, and how I saw and how I see the people, the families, not the people, but the families that I work with, the families that I serve. And I'm going to share a secret parenting model that I feel like is absolutely imperative. So I'm going to say again, I'm going to pause for a minute, and I'm going to let you go get some paper and ink pen. And this is going to go fast and heavy, so I want you to be getting ready. So go ahead, run down the hallway, grab something off your printer, because we are about to get started. Hey, Mom, and hey, there's Harold Crawford. Brother Harold, good to see you there. And I hope you're doing good out there in Indiana, just shaking things up. And that is out there in Anderson, Indiana. That's right. Harold Crawford, who's joining me. I'm going to get Harold on one of my Post Daily Dose one these days. Him and his lovely wife, Miss Edna. They were my first post-treatment home parents in Virginia when we started our first treatment home program. Amazing individuals. Walking, talking, stress model advocates, and that's actually what we're going to talk about this evening. So I hope you got your pen and your paper, because here we go. So it is called the stress model. So I remembered way back in the day, I was like studying attachment, learning about attachment. And I thought attachment is this phenomenal concept of how the parent, how the child connects to the parent, and the bonding is how the parent connects to the child. And so it's like, what is this amazing process that is occurring between these two people? And it's beautiful. It's amazing. I love it. But what is it? Actually, attachment is the process of the parent to the child, and bonding is the process of the child to the parent. I'm having a little brain fog this evening. But that's a beautiful process. And I'm hearing about all this attachment stuff, attachment this, especially this is late 90s, early 2000s. Hey, Amy from Fortuna, California. Good to see you. This is all. So attachment is getting a lot of attention at this time. And I start asking the question, I love it. What leads to attachment? What is it that makes attachment possible? Because I'm always like, let me go, if I can go deeper into the root, let me go deeper into the root. It's not enough to just work up on the surface. It's not enough to work at the trunk. We need to get into the roots. Let me get down in the roots. I want to understand, what is it that makes this process of attachment possible? And it took me several years, because I was studying with some gurus, some luminaries at the time, and asking lots of questions. And finally it came to me one day. It's stress. As long as you are in a state of stress, a child cannot develop attachment. And a parent cannot attach to a child, and a child cannot bond to a parent. For some reason, I'm not sure that I'm saying that correctly, and that's going to drive me nuts. But attachment and bonding, it's a two-way street. And usually I can rattle it off because I've said it so many times. Attachment is the behavior of the child to the parent, and bonding is the behavior of the parent to the child. But for some reason, I'm thinking that's backwards. But anyway, this process, this two-way street, as long as there's stress present, as long as there is a dysregulation, an abundance of stress present, then there cannot be an attachment and bonding process that occurs. So anytime you are working with a child and he's been labeled as reactive attachment disorder, or there's a bonding challenge and a bonding problem in the family, then people always wonder, oh, you got to do all these, you got to go through all these behaviors and create all these activities. And I used to do that. There was a time when I elastic strapped a mother and a child together for, I think it was like 2 weeks. For 2 weeks, they were elastic strapped together because the belief was that this child who had this attachment challenge was unable to bond to the parent. And so you had to pretty much elastic them together and connect them. And literally, I think it may have been almost a month. I know for a fact it was 2 weeks. And I remember the mom, her name was Stacy, and the child, his name was Casey, and two beautiful individuals. But I connected them with this elastic, and they went everywhere. They were together the whole time. So that's the premise. But so this was really important because this was, I had not discovered the secret parenting model, the stress model at this point in time. I remember having worked with this family for probably a couple months, and we had gone through some intense stuff, and the child was still struggling. The mom was still struggling. Now, I'll have to tell you all the whole story one of these days, how it all happened. But one day I was with the family and we were working, and I called my mentor at the time and I said, I'm missing something I'm not getting there. I'm not having the breakthrough that we should be having. And she told me, just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep doing what you're doing. And so this is my guru. This is my mentor. I'm like, something is missing. And so I just continued down the path. Although at that point, it's probably the first time the seed was planted, I really started questioning what I had learned up until that point. And so fast forward, probably a year or two later, I'm in Canada. I'm still asking this question, still haven't gotten the answer. And one morning, it just kind of reveals itself to me. It's stress. As long as, and this is what was missing with this mom and this child, they were both stressed. You can duct tape two people together, but if they are both stressed, they are not going to be able to achieve regulation. In fact, it is going to make it painful. And that's why in my lectures, a lot of times I will say, hey, Deanne, and thank you for buying the book. I hope you enjoy it. Please tell me what you think. If you have questions, please reach out to us. If you put two people, so a lot of times in my lecture, I'll have people ball their hands into a fist, and this represents the trillions of cells in our brain and body system, in our body-mind. And knowing that the brain and the body-mind system only knows two states. It knows a thriving state, and it knows a survival state. It knows love, and it knows fear. There's only two primary emotions, love and fear. Love and fear. So I tell my audience, put your hands in a fist, just like cells in your body. And because anytime we move into stress, our cells constrict into survival, right? So ball your hands into a fist. Stress. I said, now you are stressed out. Now in this state of stress, and you can do it with your own hands. Although I did tell you to get a pen and a piece of paper. You can put that down. Do this with your own hands. And I'm not going to do it real hard because I wear this big old ring here. And bang that together. What I tell them is try to shake hands in that state of stress. Try to shake hands in that state of stress. It is physiologically impossible. In fact, if you continue to do it long enough, it's going to become painful. This is what happens in families when we become stressed out, when we move into a state of dysregulation. We're trying to connect and we can't. It becomes painful. And this becomes a conditioned state. And pretty soon, families cannot connect because they're in this conditioned state of dysregulation. Everyone is stressed out. And I realize that the only way to create secure attachment, secure bonding within a parent-child dyad, two people, is you've got to create regulation. If you cannot create prolonged states of regulation, and if you cannot create effective repair of stress when it sets in, then you cannot create attachment. You cannot create secure attachment. That gave birth to the stress model. The stress model changed my professional career. It absolutely changed it. And it is the foundation. It is the secret parenting model that nobody knows. And I say nobody knows because out of the millions and millions and millions of parents in this world that we live in, probably 150,000 or less have been exposed to this model. And I would say that the families that really get it, really have gotten it and really have utilized it and really think about stress and really think about fear, the families I've connected to the most, probably, I'd say less than 20,000. So even though I've reached 150,000 in lectures and books and working in families' homes, I would say the families that really get the stress model, really try to practice it, really think about stress, really talk about fear, really talk about love and choosing love, I'd say less than 20,000. So nobody knows about this model. And so I want to share it with you in hopes that you will share it with others and that you will send it forth on the wings of an eagle. And that is actually my prayer before any lecture that I do. If you were with me behind the curtain, I take deep breaths, I build my chi energy, and I say a short prayer. I say, Lord, put my words on the wings of eagles and let them sail into the hearts and the minds of those you want to hear it. That is my prayer before every lecture that I do. And so I want you to put this little post-daily dose on the wings of eagles, and I want you to send this message, God's message, into the hearts and homes of as many families as you can. I'm going to make it real simple for you. The stress model says all behavior, write a circle. It's a really simple model. All behavior is at the top. So the circle is at the top. Write a circle, put behavior in it. Arises from a state of stress. Now, put another circle underneath, but leave a space in the middle, right? So another circle in the middle of it, write stress. Hi, Vicky. I know you are. I see you there, Vicky. Say hello to Dave for me. And Jessica, I see Jessica from time to time on Facebook. It's an amazing thing. Stress is on the bottom. In the middle, so you have three circles. Behavior, stress on the bottom. In the middle is emotion. On the side of emotion, on one side, I want you to write love, and on the other side, I want you to write fear. So you have three circles like an ice cream cone, like Baskin-Robbins ice cream cone. It's kind of like an ice cream cone because the cone is like the brainstem and the body. How strange and interesting and cute, because stress spelled backwards equals desserts. That's fantastic. So you have behavior, you have emotion, you have stress. On the side of emotion, there's love and fear because there are only two primary emotions. Here's where I want you to follow me. And I'm telling you, my whole career changed from this. I understood that all behavior, and you can take every problem behavior you are dealing with right now. All behavior, and I want you to write them out. All behavior arises. And in my original models, I put arrows at the bottom of stress pointing upwards. So I put these little arrows at the bottom of stress pointing upward. All behavior arises from a state of stress. All behavior arises from a state of stress. Good and bad, it all arises from a state of stress. We don't move without some momentary stress experience. Now, a lot of that stress we're able to regulate. Helps us function. We think clearly, have active short-term memory. But if that stress becomes too high, if we exceed our window of tolerance, if we move into what I call dysregulation, what science calls dysregulation, affect dysregulation, you've heard me say before, it is believed that affect dysregulation is a fundamental mechanism involved in all psychiatric disorders. Big Papa's way of saying that is stress is the fundamental cause of all psychological and emotional challenges. Distress is the fundamental cause of all psychological and emotional disorders. And that just confirms the stress model. The stress model says all behavior arises from a state of stress. In between the behavior and the stress is the presence of a primary emotion. There are only two primary emotions, love and fear. Now, here's where it becomes really interesting. It is through the expressing, the processing, and the understanding of the fear, because stress and fear are interconnected. They're interchangeable. The moment your body experiences a state of stress, it equally experiences a state of fear, even if that is excitement. Even if that stress is excitement, initially, momentarily, it is a state of fear. So any experience of stress correlates to an emotion, to an energy of fear. It is believed. It is through the expression, the processing, and the understanding of the fear that you calm the stress. It's through the expression, the processing, and the understanding. So the other person's ability to express their fear, the other person's ability to process through their fear, your ability to understand their fear, your ability to help them understand their fear, helps you to calm the stress. And I want you to see this because it starts by going up and diminishes the behavior. All behavior, I see these arrows. See, I'm very visual. I see these arrows shooting at everywhere like pop bottle rockets. Choo, 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 choo. All behavior. Write all the behaviors out. Janelle says the cellular response is the same. The neurological signals are ramped up. Yes, yes, yes. All behavior arises from a state of stress. From a state of stress. It's an energy. It's an emotion. That's all it is. It's just an energy. It's just an energy. And it shoots up. And our brains are reactive. Our amygdala is reactive. We're not thinking about it. There's no consciousness to this. This stress arises. It engages the vibration of our body and it shoots up and it comes out in behavior. So all the negative behaviors you're dealing with, coming out from a place of stress, it's like push, like a volcano. Comes out in the lava is the behavior. So all behavior arises from a state of stress, and in between the behavior and the stress is the presence of a primary emotion. So that behavior that comes out, that lava could actually come out and be butterflies. It could come out and be white doves. It could come out and be the sun shining after a thunderstorm. Or it can come out and it can be violent. It can come out and it can be loud. It can come out and it can be sad. It can come out and it can be insecure and jealous and frustrated and defiant. And it can come out and it can be lying. It can be defiance. It can be manipulation. It can be hurting, self-mutilation. It can be tearing stuff up. It can be all these different things. All these different things. It all arises from a state of stress. It is through the expression, the processing, and the understanding of the fear. Because remember, the stress takes the pathway of the fear and just grabs onto the fear and boom, it goes out. It's through the expression, the processing, and the understanding of the fear. Because when we do that, because this is a dynamic model, this is not a model that just operates in and of itself. This is not something that you just label a child with. It's a dynamic model because the stress triggers our stress. And when we get stressed, we become fearful. And when we become fearful, we act accordingly. So it is through the expression, the processing, and the understanding of the fear. When we can understand our own fear, when we can calm our own fear, it allows us to understand our child's fear. And we can understand our child's fear, we can begin calming their stress. When we begin calming their stress, we begin diminishing their behaviors. This is the most powerful and the simplest parenting model that exists for every problem behavior. Every problem behavior. It won't get any more complicated. It doesn't get any more complicated. It is so simple, but it is not easy. It is not easy because of the stress and the fear. The stress and the fear is what makes it so difficult. The stress and the fear is what makes it so complicated. The reason it makes it complicated is because the stress and the fear causes confused and distorted thinking. The stress and the fear suppress our short-term memory. The stress and the fear knock us offline. And when we're knocked offline, we do not function effectively. We do not function at our optimal state because we are knocked offline. You can't connect to the internet when you're offline. When your phone goes offline, you're not connected to the internet anymore. When your Wi-Fi signal is down, you're not connected. That's what stress and fear do. Stress and fear interrupt our Wi-Fi signals. It doesn't allow us to connect anymore. So when you're able to express, process, and understand the fear, It's like you all of a sudden start to calm your stress. And as soon as you start to calm your stress, I just visualize these things. As soon as you start to calm your stress, you move away from the fear. It's like you're moving away from, see, I've got this model in my head. And I see this model. Behavior, emotion, stress, love on this side, fear on this side. As soon as you go from the behavior, you calm the fear, you calm the stress, and as soon as you do that, you start to shift out of fear over into love. Love and fear cannot coexist. Where one is, the other is not. You're either in a fearful place or you're in a loving place, and that we really have to challenge ourselves with that. Because a lot of times in stress, our cognitive distortion makes us think and believe we're doing something from love, and we're not. You cannot do something for love in a fearful way. The two don't exist. They're completely different. So here's the breakthrough. It became the most beautiful. It has been the most beautiful thing in my life. The stress model has been the most amazing thing in my life, because from that point on, with that understanding, because I believe that love exists. Love is just there. As soon as you get out of fear, boom, love's there. It's beautiful. It's amazing. Sometimes it's painful. Sometimes it's not easy, but bam, it's there. You cannot refute love. It's the most powerful healing force in the universe. You just got to get out of the fear and stress, and bam, we are there. I mean, we glow. When we move out of fear, we glow in love. In love, we just glow. What I began to understand and what I began to see clearly, and it started happening over and over and over again at lectures, because I was lecturing all the time. Parents would come up and they would tell me this situation. And as they were telling me, I was thinking, just calm the stress, just calm the stress, just calm the stress. And oh my God, this is going to seem so simple, and it seems so simple. It seems so simple, but it is that simple. The only thing that makes it complicated is the confused and distorted thinking that stress does to our brain. That's it. Right now, you're watching and you're hearing, but you're not feeling me yet. I want you to feel me. It is that simple. It is that simple. I want you to feel what I am telling you. All of the behavioral challenges you are looking at are rooted in stress and fear. And the first place for you to start is just start by calming the stress. I used to tell my audiences in my lecture, think about 3 things you're doing right now that create more stress, and think about 3 things right now that you could do that will lessen stress. And do more of the things that lessen stress and less of the things that are creating the stress. And watch what happens. Watch what happens. It is no more complicated than that. We want to make it complicated with all of our labels and all of our diagnosis and all of our medication and all of our therapy sessions and all of our books and all of our charts. We want to make it so complicated. It is not. It is not. You can take all those behaviors and you think fear and think stress, and you think, number one, how do I calm my own fear? How do I calm my own fear so I am not so stressed out in this moment? And I had a parent, because I do 60-second parenting every day on Instagram. 60-second parenting. I've got 60 seconds to give you a powerful point. And one of the points was my lying formula. She said, the third time from doing the lying formula, she just said this today. She said, before I even got the words out, my son admitted the lie and gave me the candy that he wasn't supposed to have. She said, this is amazing. This is amazing. And I had another experience just recently. A mom sent me I got a Facebook message from a mom this morning. Sometimes my days run together because they can be really long. And her daughter was kicking the back of the seat because they were going somewhere, and she said, we just did what it was you told us to do. We got out of the car. We took some deep breaths. I opened the door to my daughter's side of the car. I got down on my knees. I apologized to her. And my daughter transitioned, and we had the best day. And my response to the mom, because this is what I want you to hear, because I don't like tools and techniques. Every now and then I'll throw you a tool, I'll throw you a little technique, but I want you to get the underlying. Everything I do has the stress model underneath it. Everything. My response to the mom was, that is so awesome. But what I want to make sure you grasp is what you did. It was the action. You got out, you calmed yourself. You calmed yourself, you connected with her fear, and you calmed her stress. And that helped her transition. Her thinking came online again, and you guys were able to go have a good day. That's what you did. You did not get worked up. You calmed your fear and you calmed your stress, and then you calmed her fear and you calmed her stress, and her behavior diminished, and you guys went and had a good day. And that is Stress Model 101. And it doesn't have to get any more complicated than that. We don't have to make it any more complicated than that. You can do this. You can do this. And I'm going to tell you again, it is not easy. And you'll mess up the first time. It's okay to mess up. I love it when parents mess up. Why? I love it when I mess up. Why? So we can stop and we can learn from it, and we can do better the next time. Mess up and apologize and do better the next time. You will get this. You will master this. You will master it because it is not that difficult. It is so basic. Don't make it any more complicated than what it is. All behavior arises from a state of stress. In between the behavior and the stress is a primary emotion. There's love and fear. It's through the expression, the processing, and the understanding of the fear that we calm the stress and diminish the behavior. Before you can diminish the behavior, you have to understand the fear and you have to calm the stress. Before you deal with the behavior, you got to calm your own stress, calm your own fear, and deal with your child's stress and your fear. Don't even think about the behavior. The behavior is nothing more than a signal. It's just a red flag for stress and fear. Attend to the stress and the fear. Listen to the behavior, respond to the child. And that's it. That's it. That is the most powerful parenting technique that I will ever be able to share with you. Everything else I'm going to talk to you about will always come right back to that place. Everything else will either confirm it, reaffirm it, or build up on it. But that's the foundation, guys. That's the most powerful, that's the secret parenting model nobody knows. And it is so powerful. It has been life-changing for me and lots of families. And it's going to be life-changing for you. But I don't want you to stop there. I don't want it to stop there. I want you to go on, and I want you to share it with others. I want you to teach others. I want you to start a group in your home just teaching the stress model. That's all you got to do. Bring a group of desperate parents together in your living room and say, all we're going to do once a week or once a month, we're just going to get together. We're going to talk about your child's problem behavior. We're going to look at the fear. We're going to look at the stress, and we're going to help you transform your home. That's what I want you to do. And I want you to let me know. I want you to let me know when you do, because I'm going to show up on Skype or on Zoom, and I'm going to be right there with you, and I'm going to support you, and I'm going to encourage, and I'm going to inspire right alongside you. That's what I want you to do. That's how we change the world. That's what this is all about. It is about creating a new parenting revolution. That's how we change the world. It starts with you. You bring some parents together, just teach the stress model. You don't have to teach anything else. You don't have to teach anything else. There you got it. Boom. Boom, boom, in any two situations, in any situation, any experience, we always have two choices. We can continue to react from the past. We can get stressed out. We can do the same thing we've always done. We can expect a different outcome. We can operate from our unconscious imprints, our generational stories. We can be mad. We can be resentful. We can be angry. We can be desperate. We can be stressed out. Or we can stop. And we can take some deep breaths, and we can slow down. And we can choose love. And we truly can do something different. God bless you. Thank you for joining me. I hope tonight, when you lay your heads down on that pillow in your bed, I hope that you lay down, and I hope that all the stress that has been in the cells from your day, from today, from the weeks and from the months and from the years, all the challenges that you have been going through, all the stress that is in your body, that is in your DNA, that you have passed, that you have carried for generations. Let's go a little bit deeper tonight. That you have passed and carried on for generations. I want that stress to be released from your body. I want it to be released from your body. And I hope and pray that in the morning when you wake up, you are restored, that you are revived, that you are inspired to go and create a new, amazing, wonderful day. Big Papa loves you, and I'll see you tomorrow.